Okay, let's talk about what it really takes to be a great technician. And I'm not talking about having the fanciest tools or the biggest toolbox. Nope. True skill, the kind that lets you solve the really tough problems, is all about what you know before you even pick up a wrench. So let's get into it.
All right, so let me ask you something straight up. What do you think is a mechanic's single most important tool? Is it some high-tech diagnostic scanner, a perfectly calibrated torque wrench, maybe that old pry bar you can't live without? I mean, those are all super important for sure, but they aren't the right answer.
The most powerful tool in your entire arsenal is your knowledge. It's what's between your ears. It's the understanding you bring to the job that transforms a parts changer into a real diagnostician. And that's the whole idea we're going to unpack today. These foundational principles you've just got to master.
All right, principle number 1. You have to see the whole machine, not just the little piece you're staring at. This is all about understanding how all the major vehicle systems work together like a team.
You got to think of a car as this complex network, right? You've got the engine, the transmission, the fuel system, the brakes, and guess what? They're all talking to each other, all the time. None of these systems works in a vacuum. A weird problem in the exhaust system could actually be making the engine run rough. Seeing how everything is interconnected? That's step 1 to becoming a real problem solver.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. A true pro isn't just someone who can point it apart and tell you its name. Not at all. It's someone who can explain why it's there. What's its job? How does it affect everything around it? That is the difference.
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper with our second principle. See, under all that metal and plastic, there are these invisible forces at work. These basic principles of physics that make the whole thing go. And you absolutely have to know them. First up, we've got mechanical advantage. This is basically the magic of leverage. It's the principle that lets you take a little bit of your own effort and turn it into a much, much bigger force.
Seriously, anytime you grab a wrench to bust loose a stubborn bolt, you're using mechanical advantage. That long handle multiplies the force from your arm, letting you do work that would be totally impossible otherwise.
All right, next on the list, hydraulics. This is all about using fluids that can't be compressed, usually some kind of oil, to move and multiply force from one spot to another. And let me tell you, it is an incredibly powerful concept.
And this is where it gets real. I mean, just think about that for a second. Your foot pushes on the brake pedal with just a little bit of force, and that pressure, multiplied through the hydraulic system, is enough to bring a 2-ton vehicle to a dead stop. That's hydraulics in action. It's amazing.
Now this one is kind of like hydraulics' cousin, pneumatics. Instead of fluid, it uses compressed gas, usually just air, to get work done. You see this everywhere in the shop with your air tools, right? But it's also in some vehicle systems, like air brakes on big trucks, or in some air suspension setups.
And rounding out our hidden forces, we have gear ratios. This is the fundamental idea behind every single transmission out there. By changing the size of the gears that are connected, you can basically trade speed for power, or torque, and vice versa.
And that right there is the perfect example. First gear gives you super low speed, but a massive amount of torque, or turning force. And that's exactly what you need to get a heavy truck moving up a steep hill. Understanding this is key to understanding the whole drivetrain.
So you get the big picture systems, and you know the science making them work. So what's next? Well, principle 3 is all about the process. A true professional follows a very specific workflow that puts data and safety before everything else. And look, this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's a hard and fast rule. Before a pro even thinks about touching a tool, they find the correct service manual. Then, they actually read it and interpret that data for the specific vehicle they're working on. Next, they select the right personal protective equipment for the job. And only then do they start to follow the correct procedure. Every single time.
And when you put it side by side, the difference is it's night and day. Right? The amateur guesses, they make assumptions, and they put themselves at risk. The professional, they're driven by data. They follow procedures. They work in a way that's both safe and efficient. They get it right the first time because they did the prep work.
All right, number 4. Now, this one might sound kind of obvious, but trust me, it is so important. To work like a professional, you have to talk like one. Using the correct automotive terminology is a tool in and of itself.
And this isn't about trying to sound smart or anything. It's about safety. It's about accuracy.
If you call a part by the wrong name, it can lead to a complete misdiagnosis, or you could order the wrong part, or even misunderstand a critical step in the manual. Using the right language prevents mistakes, and it builds trust with your coworkers and your customers. It's just non-negotiable.
So, let's just pull it all together. What have we got? These are the pillars of the blueprint. Number 1, see the whole machine. 2, know the hidden forces. 3, work smart, work safe. 4, speak the language. And number 5, well, the 5th pillar is really the professional mindset that holds it all together. The deep understanding that this foundation is what really, truly matters.
So I'm going to leave you with this question, because at the end of the day, it's the one that separates the hobbyist from the professional. Look, anybody can be trained to swap out a part, but a true technician, a master mechanic, they use their deep knowledge of all these principles to solve the actual underlying problem. So which one do you want to be?